Okay, welcome back, everybody. So, Grimbold, please give me a insight roll since you're everybody else has at this moment.
The other two people are very gullible.
14.
Unlike Jax and Lunaris, you are quite certain that this person in front of you is crazy. Like, she is mad. She named herself Mary. Mary is mad, crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's out of it. Now, whether that's a physical ailment or a mental ailment, you're not quite sure. But yeah, she's batshit crazy. um, you can tell that she's just very much out of it for the most part.
I'm pretty sure I have an idea about possibly, but Lunaris has no idea.
Well, I mean, we should probably go either way, and maybe Grim can fill us in. So
Lunaris is going to check the other doors downstairs.
All right, you just want to kind of
Follow you guys downstairs.
Yeah,
check
kind of
the whole
want to
house.
investigate
finish
the house
looking
a
around.
little bit.
Yeah.
See if we can find more information on Gertruda.
Sounds good. Give me 2 seconds to check something.
2? Only 2?
We get to the bottom of the stairs and be like, guys, this chick is crazy.
Well,
Yeah, she'd be
You
crazy.
think so? She just seemed really sad. I
yeah,
don't
she
know.
lost her child. Understandable why she's so distraught and unable to take care of herself. What crazy do you ever speak of?
Oh, I just got this feeling that she's absolutely crazy.
Nonsense. As I assure you, as soon as we find this child, the mother will go right back to normal. Sorry, I'm playing out my role of one. Lunaris is clueless.
Yep, it's good. No, that makes sense.
I mean,
Makes
I
a lot of
guess we'll
sense.
find out. If we find the child, then she's not crazy. If we don't find the child, then either we don't find the child or she is crazy. So what's the worst that could happen, you know?
Truth filling Canary.
Okay. So yeah. Other than the doll in her hands, this room looks basically each room looks like it's just hasn't been kept. Like it's super old. It's been kind of sort of left alone for at least a week. Nothing's been changed or everything's like kind of messy and everything like that. But yeah, as you kind of go through the different rooms, you notice another table, the dining table, which has up to 6 seats there. More posters being written, a stack of basically a one of her ink and quill have been knocked over and very little left, just lost, and the same sort of sketch of this young woman on each one of them looks like literally almost a week's worth of work, and yet strangely you haven't seen any of these posters around town from what you can tell, thus far anyway. Around the street you'd think, around this house you'd think there'd be some up by now, but yeah, it's just all they all just seem to be piled in over here. um, you see a storehouse with a few rotting barrels full of food and everything like that in here. This is sort of a kitchen with a stove that hasn't been lit in some time, and a another sort of reading room or living space that looks like it's actually been boarded up. You can
Okay.
still enter it, but it's boarded on the outside. What you realize that actually, as opposed to the other homes, these areas are boarded up from the inside.
Okay. Uh,
Um, yeah,
I'm gonna do a
so.
perception check in this room to see if there's
Okay.
anything
What do you do that? I'm gonna do one in this room.
in
Kitchen.
Sorry, what are you doing, Rube?
I'm gonna do a perception in the kitchen.
Okay.
16 plus 1, 17.
Okay.
19.
You can tell that this room has a girl, young girl, uh, has been in here the most. Um, you see like a sewing, uh, like different pieces of like embroidery and sewing and stuff like that having been done. There's a book on the seat over here, kind of like a child's book. Even though the portrait that you have seen is that of a 16-ish year, 14 to 16-year-old girl, the book is like basically a children's book. Um, uh, yeah, it's in disarray right now. It actually looks like somebody's kind of ripped through or like turn over a couch or a chair over here, um, like as if somebody's hiding in there, been kind of ripped apart and everything like that. Um, yeah, it's it's disheveled for sure. Um, but yeah, it's
Guess I'll
just
take a look at the book
Mhm.
through it.
Yeah, it's a children's story, from what you gather. Kind of poorly written. Um, give me a investigation check whilst we're at it. But the moral of the story essentially is that there's a girl who decides to wander from the house one day and is assaulted by three different people at three different points in time. Finally, needing to go home, her mom basically rescues her, and she lives happily ever after, essentially, in her house. That sort of thing. What'd you get for your investigation?
I got a 15.
You recognize the writing as the same as that on the Lost posters.
Say that again? It was the same as what's on the Lost?
The
It has
writing
the
is
same writing in there?
the writing is the same. You can tell.
Okay. Alright, I'll just hold on to the book for now.
Grimble,
Yes.
dishes have been stacked up for the better part of a week. Um, it looks like a lot of the food that was being prepared um, just seems to be burnt. There's a pot of soup or stew or something like that that is basically boiled to the point that it's now like 2 inches of char and just a brick inside of the pot that it was being boiled in. The fire has long since been, yeah, you're done. Um, but yeah, um, the only other thing that you really notice is yeah these windows have been boarded shut from the inside.
She's just trying to defend herself. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were as wolves and all that, so you know, probably a smart thing to do.
Well, you're you're thinking that she's just crazy.
Well, that too.
You're crazy,
That
crazy
crazy
lady.
lady.
So I'm gonna fill Kiani in. Just let him know what's going on. We're currently investigating the house, looking for what
Kiani, go
may have
ahead and give
happened.
me a perception check in this meantime too.
Option. Hey, 23.
Nice. You've been basically watching the raven kind of follow you this whole time. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's trying to hide. You're not sure if it's aware that you're aware of it, but yeah, it does seem to be constantly one or two houses over from you. And currently, it's just over here on this edge of the
Maybe
house.
when you spotted it and you were waiting outside, maybe you should consider talking to it, figure out what it wants. You can speak with animals after all.
What was that over here?
Mm-hmm. Right here. So
Ah.
it's basically on the top of a small building right now.
What is it? An animal?
Yep, it's a raven. It's been
okay.
shadowing your party the whole time.
Ah, okay. And then I'm able to get that close to it. And
Yep.
okay.
It sort of bounces for a second and warbles at you, but otherwise doesn't seem to.
Okay.
If you spend 10 minutes with your spell, you can speak with animals. I don't know if you remember you had that or not.
Yeah. So I wanna at least figure out, because it's not the first time this thing has been following us, so I'd like to use that to speak with it.
Sounds good. So yeah, whilst they're kind of talking to Mary inside, you kind of perform your ritual. And yeah, what would you like to say to the animal?
Why are you following us?
It quirks its head at you. Seems to crow or caw loudly at you. It's give me an insight check.
Okay, insight. 18.
Your experience with animals tells you that while this is certainly animal-like, there is something definitely weird about this creature, and the emotion on the bird's face is one of shock when you start talking to it, essentially in Raven for the most part. And as soon as you do, its one caw is "I see," is basically what it says, and it's sort of got a shock on its face, and then it flies off.
Okay. So it didn't really interact, or didn't really want to give interaction. Or...
Yeah, it seemed basically what you saw was an extreme surprise that you were able to speak to it. And it seemed not necessarily freaked out by any means, not fearful, but feeling like it needed to leave, essentially.
Okay. All right, well, since it flew off, there's nothing much else I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I will head back towards the house, and stay put, and wait for my players.
So yeah, when you get back, I imagine is when I fill you in on what's going on in the house.
Yep.
And yeah. More investigation that we need.
Yeah. Are we done investigating this house? Seems like everything is boarded up to keep this person in or keep them out. So.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this room that I'm in?
Yeah, so there's just this is sort of like the storage room. This is a pair of double windows that have been not just boarded up, but some barrels filled with sort of rotten grain, sort of pushed up against it as well. At some point, it looks like it's been tampered with from the inside, here and there. So like it looks like it's been kind of boarded up and then taken out for a second and then boarded up again. And then these things have been pushed out. But yeah, it's just kind of like a storage area that has rotting food at this point. A lot of the stores seem to be gone. And I'll even.
I have an idea.
Are we gonna head out? Is that what we're gonna do?
What's your idea, Lunar?
I do recall that there was a well on the other side of this place when we viewed earlier. I'm gonna pick up a stone outside and I'm gonna cast a light on it, drop it into the well.
Mm-hmm. I like that plan. It's better than the one I was thinking of.
All right. Are you guys going to go with Lunar? Or are you just sticking around there? Or are you leaving the house?
I'm gonna go at least if everybody's heading least towards the door or heading their way out, I can march my way to Lunaris. Just kind of be in the midway here.
Yeah, I think we're all heading out there.
No need to keep bothering that woman.
Sounds good. So, Lunaris walks up to this well. Grimbold, you're the first one because you're kind of really keeping track of some stuff. To feel like there's definitely something wrong with this well. You can't put your finger on it. But it is illuminated very quickly as Lunaris alights a stone and drops it down the well. And it is about 20 or 30 feet down. It hits something that makes a groaning sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then you didn't have to see it very long, but you're pretty certain there's a person down there, or a humanoid down there. And it gets knocked off the head or the shoulder or something of the person that was there, and then it goes bloop and goes in the water. There's sort of a somewhat luminescence that's still glowing in the water underneath, but it just seems to be obscured, very shadowy. But yeah, as you guys sort of really listen, you think you hear like quite a bit of sloshing down there.
And
Hello down there. Do you need help?
Are you alive?
Give me a perception check, everybody.
I like the "Are you alive?" when you hear groaning down there. My rolls are either one extreme or the other all day today. I just rolled another 20.
I got an 8.
Jesus.
I got a nat 20 for 24.
Jeez.
23.
What did you get, Kiani?
23.
Okay. Yeah, so Jax, you kind of just hear a muffled moan, but the rest of you can just barely hear down and distantly in the well the sound of a man's voice that's very hoarse and crying out. It's like, "Please help me, please."
Man's voice, not a child. You're not who we're looking for. See ya. No, just kidding.
Lunar's like, "You're on your own."
Well, I guess the only option is to toss this rope down that I have and hope for the best.
Pulls up a monster.
Yeah, I'm kind of on guard because it's not the child like I was hoping.
Johnny, you're gonna have to help me with this rope because
Yep. I will head on over and I can use a strength check to help you pull.
As you kind of listen to it, you suddenly hear quite a few more sounds sloshing in the water below. Just below you, you can't. The voice isn't coming from straight below you. It seems like it's further in somewhere down below, and basically the sound. Do you guys say anything to this voice, or yeah?
Can you grab this rope?
Oh,
Is
oh, thank the Lord, thank the morning Lord.
is there anyone else down there with you?
Yes, please be careful. They're mad. They're insane. They tried to kill me. There's many down here.
What? Many what?
People, dead people.
Oh, well, this guy's communicating with us. Let's pull him out of there.
Yeah.
I'm behind a door, deeper in.
Ah.
I can't get to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna have to tie this off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go down there, ain't I?
Well, it's 50 feet of rope, right? That's what you
50
have.
feet. Yeah.
All right, I have another 50 as well. You said it was about 20 or 30 down.
Yeah, so you guys can
I'm
basically.
just trying to think about where we can tie this off.
You have enough that what you could do is wrap it around the outside and tie it and then kind of flip it in kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
That
That sort
works.
of thing would be pretty simple to do.
Mhm.
I just need to do something right quick.
50 feet should be perfect for that.
Are we all going down, or is it just me?
Well, it's a 5-foot wide hole, so I'm sure we can all fit.
You can all get that.
It would be fun to lower a halfling down into a well.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking at first.
All right.
That's not a bad idea, because if it is dangerous in there, you can at least take. You know what? Maybe not, because you're the only one who can't see in the dark. There's a light spell down there, though. Actually, you said it was in the water, like the stone.
Yeah, so it's it's effectively muted, so it's kind of like a
Yeah.
night light in terms of, and because it's so far
Right,
down,
I
you
know what
can't
you're
really
talking about.
making out anything. So it's the water essentially is murkily lit. That's all, and you can kind of see shapes down there at some level.
I could probably.
I mean, light is a cantrip for me. How often can I cast that?
I could use dancing lights, maybe.
That would work. Is that is that a cantrip?
It is.
Okay.
It says I can create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. Combine 4 lights into one vaguely glowing humanoid form of medium size. Whichever form you choose, each light sheds a dim light in a 10-foot radius. As a bonus action, on each turn, you can move the lights up to 60 feet to a new spot within range. A light must be within 20 feet of another light created by this spell, and a light winks out if it exceeds the spell's range.
That sounds like a really good idea. Yep.
Yeah, use that more often.
We haven't needed it yet. So.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I can send that down with Grim. And
all right.
Sounds
Grim's
good.
just gotta communicate where he needs it. That's all.
All right.
I guess I need to probably do like an athletics or
acrobatics.
Are you actually? Are you guys you're tying him like around the waist type of thing?
Yeah, and lowering him down.
Okay, sounds like sounds good. So I'll say, Kiani, go ahead and roll an athletics check with. You can do it twice, so it's at advantage. Just tell me what the highest roll is. I'll assume that Lunaris and or Jax or both are helping to lower you.
Highest roll is 23.
Okay, so.
Do I need to roll for the dancing lights?
Nope, it's just something that automatically. You can describe how you want them, how many lights you want. If it's one big
Create
one,
up
if
to
it's a
4.
bunch of small one.
Okay. I think we'll start with one big one that's following Grim down. So.
Okay. So Grim, you're kind of mission impossibling down, being lowered. Kiani doesn't really need the help. He's basically one arming this at one point. He's sort of wrapped
Take a
around
break.
his waist, very very easily lowering you. You have the light behind you, so it's kind of casting down your shadow a little bit. But you can still tell that there are some figures submerged about to their chest. In the bottom. And as you get lower, it's about 20 feet down and then another 10 feet where it kind of opens up. And then there's sort of a walkway, a stone walkway, and a door about 5 feet in that is currently closed. It's been like beaten and destroyed, but it's fairly heavy. So it's still like kind of functional for the most part. And you can tell that there's somebody behind there who is sort of saying, be careful, be careful. You get about 10 feet down, and then the light kind of brightens the rest of the room. And what you see is horrific. You see at least half a dozen corpses, some of which have limbs missing, but also all of them are animated. And they look up to you like it's a feast being slowly descended for them to eat. They have their mouths sort of, the flesh ripped away, their eyeballs lock onto you. Some of them, like one dangling eyeball, and they're just all thrashing at this point in the water. So at least 6 or possibly more undead thrashing in the water, trying to reach for you at this point. You're still fairly high up. They can't really reach you or anything like that, but they're kind of in a frenzy at this point, thinking you look like a delicious morsel.
There's 6 of them down here. I might need help.
You inch another foot down as Kiani keeps
Continues
on
to
lowering
lower
you.
you.
Slower.
I think I would. Well, because since we know it's down there and it's pretty much danger.
Okay, just making sure.
I figured Grimble was gonna yell, "Stop!"
Keanu's just gonna keep lowering him. Like, yeah, no big deal. You're fine, Grim. Good luck.
It's like you better tell this guy what you're being lowered into.
I think that we should pull him back up, and I basically pull him back up to reassess the situation.
Sounds good.
So that way Grimble doesn't get mauled by some zombies. And I think that's what we should do.
But you don't want the fish having the worm on the hook there? Come on.
No.
I got my soda. I'm good.
And then if Grimble's kicking and screaming on the way up, then we could do that too.
It sounds good.
God damn it! I was ready to fight these creatures. Why'd you pull me up?
So Graham, give me one more investigation roll as well, please.
$22.
Nice. So you're kind of putting 2 and 2 together in terms of what's kind of been going on in the area. What you suspect is that people have been drinking this water and have been slowly getting sick because of the corpses that are in this, not just corpses, but undead in this well. And that seems to account for why there are so many zombies in the area. It doesn't give a reason for who's been boarding things up or anything like that, but the proximity of this well and the number of houses in this area, you can kind of come to the conclusion that this is likely the source of the undead in this town right now. You can also guess that if all of the corpses were removed, that without any sort of magical purifying of water, even if that's possible. You figure it's going to be a while for these people to be able to drink from this well, like at least several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But yeah.
Not what I expected to stumble upon, but I'll take it.
I thought you had guessed that that's what was happening that fast. Like, damn. Like I said, I know we're related, but I didn't know you were that smart. So,
Hey
good
guys,
job.
drink this water.
Well,
Ha.
very interesting.
Literally. Sorry.
Didn't need to use detect good and evil for that.
Did not.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been fun too.
So we're gonna need to destroy these zombies so that way these people can have clean water again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go down there, at least 2 of us.
And we need to warn them too so that they stop
Yes,
drinking
exactly.
the water.
Or we can just break this well, fill it in.
Well, they need to be able to use it after we've cleansed it.
They're gonna need clean water at some point and be able to use it though, Grim.
And there's potentially somebody down there that we need to save.
Yeah.
The human being that's down there that is apparently still alive. Yeah, you know, you could just cave it in on him and say, anyway, good luck.
Good luck.
That's a thing too, I guess. I guess we should probably maybe help them. I wonder if it's that might be the fiance that we're looking for.
Quite possible. I didn't get to see him since he's behind that door.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
All right. Well, sorry.
So I needed pulling thread.
How do we want to get down there safely? Or do you just want me to send some fire down there? But that might kill our friend. We don't know how safe he is behind the door. Maybe we should ask him. Thoughts, opinions, peanut gallery. Give me something.
I'm ready to fight.
Okay, but like I can just throw fire down there and like set them all on fire is what I'm saying. But
Grim,
we need to find out if our friend is going to be safe before I do that.
Yeah, Grim, you're fairly confident that the door, you know, it's
I'm fine with that.
Sturdy enough that, you know, the guy should be protected. I mean, it definitely doesn't smell good down there, and whether he's like, you know, not liking the noxious fumes as it is, plus burning, it's possible to do enough damage by just throwing some fire down there, but yeah, it's gonna take a significant amount of like to do so. But yeah.
Well, I'm gonna cast flaming spear then, and we're throwing it down the well.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I forgot you had that spell already. That would work very well. Yes. So a 5 diameter sphere of fire appears in an unoccupied space of your choice, with range that lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a. So can you suspend it in air, or does it have to be on a surface? That's my question.
Let me see if it specifies.
It says when you move the sphere, you can direct it over barriers up to 5 feet tall and jump it across pits up to 10 feet wide. The sphere ignites flammable objects not being worn. So it doesn't sound like it flies. It sounds like it is kind of on the ground, but it can jump. And
so here's what I'll say based on Grimm's description. It's a 5-foot hole that's filled with water, and then it's got a platform about 5 feet up that from the water as well that kind of goes around, and the door is in one of those platforms. So in theory, what you can do is drop you'd have to go down to be able to see it, but place it on the platform, and the burning will basically affect them next to that 5 foot area. So.
All right, into the bucket I go.
So yeah, you're the one who will probably have to
Pray
be
for
descended
me.
to go there. Yeah.
Basically,
So-
we're gonna untie myself to tie Jax up, to lower Jax up.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All right.
Concentration.
Are you
So
are you letting this guy know what you're doing out of curiosity?
Yeah, we should warn him. Do one of you guys want to tell him real quick?
Hey down there. We're gonna throw some fire down. Brace for impact.
He there's no answer for a few moments, and then you kind of hear yeah, maybe some shuffling or something like that, and then he's like, okay, if you think that's best.
He said you're good.
All right, well, send me down.
all right, I just want to mention as well, since you're going to be casting that, your dancing lights is also concentration, so those have to go out. Since that's the case, I'm going to cast my light cantrip again.
Mhm.
I have to touch something of yours though. What do you want to shine light?
I don't know.
Belt.
Sure.
Let's say you have a belt on. A touch belt.
I have a belt on. Sure. Yeah.
Sounds good. My lederhosen.
Oh no.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So yeah. So Jax kind of gets wrapped around Kiani and Lunaris. Go ahead and give me one more athletics check. Yeah, athletics check, please.
Are you guys ready to come down here? If I get in trouble, please tell me you're ready to come down here. If I get in trouble, please.
Sure.
I got a 10.
No, not you. You're fine with that one. Kiani.
Oh,
with,
okay.
Advantage.
Hey. Athletics.
Please don't drop me.
Nah.
Don't pull a Zoltan.
I'm
Don't
waiting
drop me
though
down
for
the
those.
stairs.
I'm waiting for those double critical ones.
Yeah.
23. 23 is my highest.
Oh, thank God.
Lame. So
Thank God.
again, without even hardly even needing the help, although Lunaris kind of is
He
guiding
did
as
not
well.
pull a Zoltan.
Yeah, you're very smoothly lowered down, and you're able to guide him pretty easily to the last 10 feet. So yeah, there's a platform that you can kind of drop your crazy ball of psycho fire.
Okay.
And yeah,
I also have
it should do the
some
job.
decent vision in the dark, and I am casting fire, so all of this will
Yeah.
help me be able to see.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you see a very grotesque, horrible scene of just the worst possible floating limbs and flailing, hungry mouths of flesh that seem very familiar to you as you've experienced them like nobody else has recently.
Sounds hot. Love that for
Mhm.
me. All right. So do I need to roll for this? Yeah?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay.
So, what I'll say is,
Lasts for 10 turns. And you can ram
yeah.
it
So
into
it's
creatures
you can
and
do
when
it for a minute basically. Yeah. So yeah. So, how do you think this looks? Do you have any particular idea of what your ball of fire, your 5 foot ball of fire, looks like? Is it like purple as well? Like what describe it to us.
I would imagine my 5-foot ball of fire is also kind of like purple, not unlike myself when it comes to my flames. That kind of like purple with like a hint of like the whitish purple mixed in there, maybe some little blue flecks, kind of swirling around, just kind of chaotic looking, because I'm very chaotic. It's not an organized ball of fire. It looks very chaotic as I'm just kind of throwing it down this field of zombies essentially. And it is quite intimidating if someone were to be looking at it, because it doesn't look like just a fancy organized orb, I would say.
Okay. Good to know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, you create this big ball, this 5-foot ball of flames on the side platform, and as soon as it alights, some of the zombies, it's about maybe a little lower than chest height. This water that they're in, they screech and they freak out for a second and start piling away from it as much as they can, clawing their way up onto the platform on the other side. So half of them, like, they just look like they're like floating there and they're just kind of burning. They don't have legs, or they're just not able to get out. But about 3 of them at least kind of claw their way up to the other side, away from the ball of fire. How would you like to direct this thing? Because you can move it, right?
Can I direct it like toward them? Can I like move it? Okay, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, you can basically move it around the platform, or even jump across if you want, however you want.
Okay. I'd like to imagine that like I am literally just like kind of chasing them with the ball. Like it's almost like that scene in Mario where like the the fire is just like chasing him.
Nice. Now, give me just 2 seconds to look something up here. Okay. So, as you kind of, here's how I imagine what you're doing, because they're slowly trying to run away from this thing. You're spinning this ball of 5-foot flame of chaotic purple and bluish fire orb around and around, as you're basically chasing or licking the zombies. They're igniting here and there. The noxious fumes that are being created, however, make it very difficult to try and push past and concentrate. And so you'll need to roll a Constitution saving throw to try and keep from breaking your concentration. It's not necessarily hurting you right now, but it is burning, wet, horrible flesh.
I mean, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Yeah. So just a D20?
Yeah, roll. You can do your Constitution saving throw. There, it's just in the right side of, the left side of your sheet there, at the top, just underneath your strength,
where it
dexterity.
Where it says +4?
Yeah, con +4, yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll
11,
that for me.
12, 13, 14, 15.
All right. Let me just quickly...
I was reading. What was the saving throw for? What happened?
For concentration, to keep your concentration.
Oh, right.
So
because,
yeah.
it smells really bad.
You're really, really close to a ball of flame that is licking the flesh and throwing it up in little bits and pieces into your face. And it's the noxious fumes in particular that are making you really, like, it's gross.
Yeah,
it's gross as fuck.
I'm nauseous as fuck right now.
So yeah, you make your saving throw, no problem. You kind of holding your breath and just, you're not sure what's happening at this moment. In fact, everybody but Shanna, please deafen for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the restroom anyway, so I'll be right
Sounds
back
good.
and I'll deafen.
Okay. Sorry, give me a second.
You're fine.
Okay. So as you're, chasing these creatures, what you realize is that the fumes aren't bothering you as much as you think that they would. But as you're kind of using your hand to kind of guide this ball of flame
Mm-hmm,
around and
mm-hmm,
around,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
what your original intent was is just kind of chase them. What you realize is there's a your purple flames that are kind of crawling up your arm suddenly have that telltale pale blue within them as you're reaching out, and you feel your arm kind of moving in your own way, or
Okay.
kind of without your really guiding it. You don't really notice it at first, and you sort of spin faster and faster, and the ball goes in sort of a whirlwind pattern until it's basically a funnel, like a tornado of flame within there, and it grows and it grows and it basically starts boiling the water. And no matter what these zombies try to do, they just they're just basically becoming evaporated. It's not until you hear the scream of the guy in the room that you realize that your flames are a little hotter than you expected, and the air pressure or whatever's going on with your flames realize it makes you realize that you're not fully in control of your actions right now. Please make a
Okay.
wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom +1, so 15 again.
All right. Not only do you become aware of it, but you're able to completely control your body again. But just as you kind of realize the arm that felt like it was being in control, you realize without noticing that he was there in the first place that Poe or Kirid has been sitting on your right shoulder this entire time and
Oh,
has been
okay.
watching the flames and is himself seeming to be glowing this sort of pale blue fire that's alit with you and seems to be kind of inside your arm, kind of guiding you. But you're
I've
able
been
to
getting a
break it right
little
away.
assistance, basically.
So,
Okay. Okay.
okay, okay. But yeah, so.
Okay. Interesting.
Okie dokie.
Um, yeah, so it's not long before you guys not just smell what's going on down there, but you hear the panicked cry of a man down there. It's hot, please stop it. And you see like the what would you say the well basically erupting in flames. At least the light of this purple flame, purplish, pale blue flame, come out of it, and finally it ends just as quickly as it stops. And yeah, looks gravy.
Lovely.
Damn, Jax.
I mean, it was a good plan, but yeah, all that smoke's got to go somewhere.
It smells terrible down here.
I see
You
two
okay?
GMs in our owl bear rodeo.
See what?
I see
Yeah,
two GMs.
I have my laptop up as well.
Got
Oh.
it. All right. Do you need to be pulled up? How?
I mean, I would kind of like some fresh air, but we also need to send someone down to get whoever's down here out of here.
All right.
Well, I have another rope, so.
So Jax, what you've realized after the steam and flames kind of die down is that the water below you is boiling. It has made something of an undead soup of sorts.
Ugh.
But you also notice, or you kind of recognize that having boiled this well water, it might have purified it a little bit, and you can kind of suspect that as long as you gather whatever bits and stuff that are still left in there, that it might be potable after a couple of days, maybe a week at the most.
I mean, that would make sense. So we just got to clean up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes about 10 minutes for the walls to stop perspiring and the stone to kind of cool enough that finally the door will open and a young man crawls out. It looks like both of his legs are broken, but he manages to push it open, and he's wincing in great pain. But he's a fairly good-looking fella. I'll show you what he looks like here.
I think you're probably right. It's probably that guy with the blue eyes.
Hmm.
Like mine.
Give me a second to find him here. There we go.
I'd be
And
so curious to find out what is in Zell's folders of all D&D in this session.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this kind of turned into a very unexpected, interesting session.
Oh yeah.
how? Give me just a moment to change something here as well. Well, you guys can see anyway. And yes, the description of the young man that the woman had given.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah, he's not a bad-looking fella.
Maybe
He looks a little worse for wear, for sure. But yeah. Otherwise, he is, yeah, basically at the foot of the stone. He kind of crawls out. So Jax, are you still going to be like kind of suspended there and like feed him a different rope, or?
Wait. What do you mean?
So you guys have two ropes, right? So like, are you
Yeah.
still suspended down there, and you're just going to toss him another rope type of thing?
Am I gonna go down?
And we can do that.
Okay.
We can do that.
With two broken legs, it'll probably be hard for him to.
Yeah, it's basically at this point it's going to be like Lunaris. You're going to have to like suspend Jax at least for the time being before you, or at least you guys are going to have to feed him a rope or something to that effect in order to get him up.
Yeah, because he can't really walk or jump or anything. I can go down there and heal him, but I mean,
If that's what you'd like to do.
There's boiling water there. Is it like?
It's basically, yeah, it's been a couple of minutes at least, like about 5-10 minutes before he was even able to kind of get out because it was that hot. So
I just made a hot tub. That's all.
You made a zombie hot tub. I like it.
Zombie hot tub.
He's a zombie or a hot tub time machine. You gotta.
There you go.
It's for zombies. So yeah, we have a couple different options here.
Yeah, what would you guys like to do?
I guess pull Jax up maybe.
Hold Jax up and then put you down so you can.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's do that.
All right. So yeah, Jax, you're able to get up, no problem. And yeah, Lunaris. So go ahead and give me another athletics check, Kinyani, to lower Lunaris down. You don't have advantage on this unless, well, I guess you guys can help if you want. So you can have an advantage if you guys are helping him.
Yeah, we can help.
Okay.
I'd be helpful.
Did you want to roll, Adam?
Yes. Roll athletics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get
with
Lunaris.
advantage.
Yeah. A little harder to go lower them than
24.
Never mind. You're perfectly. You barely need the help. You're still kind of like you're an expert at this. You're at this point you just know the leverage. You understand weight and
Back
distribution and
in
all that
Char, I
stuff.
would lift trees to work out.
Yeah. So you guys, are you using a light or anything like that as well, Lunaris? Are you doing like a recasting your light to?
Yeah, I suppose I can. It'll just essentially make me be able to see 40 feet as it were bright light instead of dim light, because that's what the dark vision does if
Right.
it's like pitch black in there. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll do my light for his sake as well.
All right. You what are you lighting up? Anything in particular?
My gauntlet, I guess, or my glove, or
Yeah, that sounds
my
good. You kind of open your hand and the forearm of your armor lights up, and you slowly kind of find yourself lowered down a ways. The just the way that it's kind of projected, you guys see a much brighter light coming up. And what you actually realize is that there's been so much commotion that there's been several villagers who are kind of looking out of their houses or kind of coming around, seeing that you guys are trying to save somebody, or it appeared to save somebody at this point. And yeah. Yeah, Lunaris's light seems to shine, and it's attracted at least like half a dozen spectators at this point, wondering exactly what you guys are doing. And yeah, I was going to make you. How do we do this?
Well,
I don't know.
I'd say they essentially have both ropes up there dangling down. I figured I would get over to him and heal him so that he can actually stand.
Yeah. I'm going to get everybody to deafen and minimize your
Owl bear.
your Discord, so
Okay.
that you
Are you
can't
just
see.
gonna
Because
DM us?
I'll DM you guys when we're done here, but it's going to take about maybe 5 minutes. I'll
Okay.
even if you guys want to like go to like the Genki Cafe and we can kind of pop in there.
Okay.
When we're done,
That'll
that
work.
might be
Yeah,
if you
that'll
guys
work.
want to. That sounds like a good plan, I think.
Okay.
Who is going?
Everybody but you and I.
Okay. I'm in trouble.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Perfect.
Need to blow the whole hood off of everything, but that was fun.
As you descend, Lunaris, your light, you think, just suddenly starts to get brighter and brighter, until you realize that it's actually not your light that is radiating, but a light already down in the well. The guy looks up to you and in awe of what you look like. You look amazing. You're the focal point that he's seeing, but you also see a sort of crystalline wing sort of behind him, and a beautiful maiden that has wings clad in sort of silver. And she's extremely beautiful, and you know exactly who is in front of you. She looks more mature than she did before, but you can tell that she is, in fact, the Evening Glory, down in this well with this young man. And I'll show you essentially what you see. Almost like an angel, sort of sitting at the pool, at the edge of the pool of water, on the stone. Her wings sort of sadly draped along his back. You notice two things. Actually, give me an insight check and a perception check.
Okay, insight first. 18 minus 1, 17.
Okay.
And perception 2 plus 1.
Okay. Yeah, so you are captivated by your patron. She looks more um, empowered than she did the last time you saw her. She doesn't. She seems even more ethereal, while at the same time more solid than she was before as well. Since having become your patron. Um, but what you notice right away, something that just doesn't seem like it belongs on her face, is sorrow. And she looks up to you, giving a sad sort of smile as her wing sort of seems to cup this young man's body almost protectively. He doesn't seem to notice her. He's just enraptured by your presence and your light and your gauntlet, and clearly stunned by your presence,
Yeah.
your Azamar nature, or just the glow in your hand. He's never seen anything quite like it.
Yep. Coming down on the rope, and then I'm enamored by my lady.
Mm-hmm.
And you
What would you
said
like to do?
that she looked sad?
She looks very sad, yes. Her wings sort of drape downwards. Um,
Um, I'd like to interact with Evening Glory, but I need to attend to this gentleman to be able
sure.
to aid him.
So you're kind of lowered down. You have the ability to kind of capture, and he he looks, uh, you know, in a lot of pain, and he seems just disoriented. You do you say anything to him?
I guess I don't want to metagame or anything to assume that we know who this guy is, but I guess from the description, maybe Lunaris would have figured it out. So it's like,
Yeah,
are
it's
you
very clearly the young man that was described to you.
okay? We've taken care of the zombies here. From what it seems like, do you happen to be Mikhail? Mikhail?
He hears his name, but doesn't look like he's really understanding the rest of what you're saying. He just looks really disoriented, and he kind of just nods, but it looks like he's in a great deal of shock. And suddenly, the Evening Glory sort of says, "I wish that my powers could help him at this point, but he is infected far beyond any sort of salvation." And she kind of points out, and you notice that he has several bite marks on his legs and on his forearm. And as you kind of, it's almost like her light, just her saying it, has revealed what the reality is.
Right.
And like this guy is pretty much on the brink of death, and almost like he's ready to turn himself. So he just doesn't look like he's totally in his mind. He might not be turning like this second, but like you can tell that he's pretty far gone, and the reality of what she said is true.
Oh, I'm gonna try and snap him out of it. Get him to come to his senses by mentioning Elvira. Like, Elvira contacted us. She's very worried about you, Mikhail. We are hoping
He
to.
he he starts to break down at the mention of her name, and he kind of pushes you off and kind of puts his back to the stone wall and kind of coughs, realizing his own state, and he's like, "I shouldn't have left her. Gods, Elvira, my love, I'm dying, aren't I?" And he finally seems to like really hone in and clearly see you.
You are, and much worse, you may actually become that of which has injured you, which we've come to cleanse this town of. And there's no amount of healing that I can do to stop that. I do apologize. We are here to help. If you wish me to make your suffering much less, I would be more than happy to assist for your sake. And in doing so, tell me anything that you wish for me to tell Elvira.
He has a dagger that he kind of wrenches out, and he looks at it and he says, "I've been thinking of doing this for the past several hours, and I just don't have the strength to do it myself." He kind of lays it on the ground in front of you. "I wish I could just be with Elvira forever." The evening glory looks like she's watching a single silver tear drops down her face. And she goes, "What a beautiful soul. He too could have been my knight. Perhaps." And then she kind of trails off, just watching him.
Death is not the end. It's just path to something greater. A new beginning, and perhaps in the next life you can be with your loved ones again.
"You forget, my champion," she says. "This place is different. The souls are trapped here, in this plane of existence. Even myself, I haven't the strength to escape it. Should this man die, he will be caught up in the cycle of rebirth. And as some of these souls, as you've seen, for whatever reason, they are being lost. He may not make it back. There may be an option." She puts her hand on your shoulder, her wing sort of cupping him.
I've sort of been watching him most of the time, I guess, during this, and then just kind of break his gaze and go to her with like hope. And
"If he should desire it, I can keep him with me. I can take him. His body will be preserved, not unlike how Jack's was, and he will be present with me. I can protect his soul until we can discover a way out of this place."
I vow to break the curse on this land so that people like this and many like him can be reunited with their loved ones. No soul should have to be trapped.
He must understand before it happens. Tell him what you can do, that you can preserve him and his soul.
I look him in the eyes and say, I have no idea how you've come upon this place or why you are here. But this cursed land is for no soul. No soul should have to die here and go through torment. Since I have reached you in time, I have but one offer, that if you put your trust in my patron of glory, then we will save your soul and reunite you with Elvira when we break the curse on this land. I swear it.
Give me a persuasion check.
My specialty.
Mm-hmm. I'll even give you a advantage on it, just because you said it so well.
11. 1d5.
Okay. He wholeheartedly believes in what you're saying and just sort of mutters under his breath, "Do it, then. Be quick about it." And he sort of leans up against the wall and puts his kind of hand on his heart. In his grip, you realize is a sketch of Elvira, and he's got it in his hand. The evening glory seems to dissipate, and you realize her power is behind you, and it infuses your arms. And she simply says, "Touch him."
I'll take my shining glove hand and place it on his and his heart.
You, your hand reaches onto his essentially, over his heart, and just as Jax had come from her marble, there's a spreading of white clearness, shining marble that starts to wrap itself around his arm. It seems like it's peaceful and it's clear, and he takes a deep breath, and it's about, you think about a minute before finally he has a slight smile as he feels welcomed, and his body becomes nothing more than a sitting statue of marble. And you can tell that his soul passes into the grace of the evening glory.
Just gonna cry.
I will. I'll just go jump. Actually, if you want to jump over to Genki Cafe and grab everybody.
Oh, hell yeah!
Sorry, that's
Nice.
my sound when I
Nice.
join the
Nice.
server.
That was wild. That was quite stuff happened.
Happened.
So as you guys are lowering Lunaris, you can hear the man sort of talking hushed under his voice, and Lunaris sort of responding. You can't quite make out what they're saying. Actually, everybody give me, except for Lunaris, of course, give me a perception check.
Okay, perception.
16.
8. 5 plus 3.
5.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of hear somberness. After about a minute, you can tell the voices have stopped, and there's suddenly a much more brilliant light that comes out of the tunnel for just a short period of time. Before, it just dissipates, and there's the same amount of light that Lunaris was producing from before. What would you like to do?
You guys okay down there?
I guess I'll yell up to pull me up. Pull me up.
All right.
Have you done anything for Mikhail? With the rope
well, yes, well, yeah. He's stone, right? Is he turned into like the porcelain stone?
Yeah.
Jack was. All right. So yeah, I guess if he's not too heavy, I can pull him up, or like tie him up.
You could tie him off, yeah.
Yep. Let's do it. You pulled me up first.
So Larnaris comes, a certain look of resignation on their face coming out of the well. You guys can give me an insight check if you want.
12.
What does Grimbald see on your face, Lunaris?
Sadness, reflecting what happened down there, but essentially, just sad, but also just like firm in a way.
Do you want to try and lift out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's pull him up. I
All right.
do apologize. We did what we could, but I couldn't save him physically.
What happened?
Well, as we pull him up, I guess as he comes out, you'll notice that he's kind of turned to stone.
Is this Mikhail? Is this
This I did
Scribe's fiance?
I did confirm this is Mikhail. However, he was gravely wounded and he was about to turn into an undead, much like what we just killed. So we did what we could for his soul, and my patron, Evening Glory, and I have saved his soul because the souls here are in perpetual agony, and we need to reunite this man in the afterlife, one way or another, with Elvira. Maybe not right away, obviously, but his soul is with my patron now.
Soul's with your patron, then what's the statue?
What remains of his physical form?
Well, she's not going to be very happy about this.
No. Well, for any reason that we can break the curse on this land and possibly find a way to cure zombie disease, then perhaps his soul can be placed back into this physical form, much like you were, Jax, when we saved you.
Maybe. Well, should we deliver this to her then?
Yes.
I think you might be the best one to deliver the news.
I do believe that to be true.
I guess the three of us have to kill him.
Yeah. So, you guys gonna try and pull this thing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that it was up. It was pulled up.
Okay. I'll need
roll.
and one more athletics roll from Kiani. You can do it at advantage if you guys are all helping.
Okay. I'll do a roll here. A 13.
Okay. And one more.
A 10.
All right. Even though Lunaris is in armor and quite heavy, this is a different story. It takes all four of you, and you even need a little bit of help from a few of the villagers who are kind of watching in order to actually get this thing up. When it comes up, you realize it's probably about 250, 300 pounds of a solid marble, or at least a material similar to marble. The look on the man's face is peaceful. His hand is over his heart, and there's a picture of Elvira, a drawing of her that he apparently had with him that is sort of stuck fast in between the hand that is sort of holding onto his heart. Yeah, he looks kind of resigned and peaceful about what's happening. But yeah, it does take probably about the better part of an hour to get him up with a lot of help. So he's heavy as shit. It's also kind of the way he's sort of sitting. It's just hard to kind of guide him through the hole in the well. It's a little difficult to get through, but eventually you guys figure it out. You don't mar his marble body at all, but yeah, you see a essentially petrified human being at this point. So yeah, what would you like to do with said petrified human being?
Find some sort of transportation, or find somewhere to put it on. So
Maybe
wheel him over to Elvira and say, "We found him."
Right?
just got a sheet over top of him. It's like, ta-da!
Like
there's a logo right here. Can we steal it? Wagon apart.
just leave in the back here with a note.
Yeah, there's probably like essentially like a wheelbarrow type device that you guys can kind of carry this person in. Give me somebody with the highest insight check. Probably who's the highest?
Unless
I mean, I have +3 on my insight.
Okay, let's do Jax. Jax, go ahead and give me
oh yeah, you're right.
an insight check.
You're proficient with insight.
17.
Even with the people who are helping, you notice a level of genuine fear on the faces of the crowd around you. Some have already kind of run, kind of gone fleeing. Others are backing away from you guys. But whatever, this statue is something very new to them, and they're extremely afraid of what's going down right now.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Are you gonna let the group know?
I
People are
mean,
afraid?
I guess I could like kind of whisper to you guys, like, guys, people are scared of this statue.
That's reasonable.
I
Perhaps I
don't know.
should say something to them.
I don't know what we should do, honestly, but
All right, I guess Lunaris will stand up on the well and speech time, I guess. They're more or less going to be, they're going to say, I know a lot of you are scared. I can see it on your faces. And you should be. This area is cursed. The Morning Lord can't reach this darkness. But you know who can? We can. We're here to help. This man didn't have to be like this. You all need to open your eyes. The water here is not okay, but we are working on it. We are going to save this town, and we are going to make it better and safer for all of you. Give us your faith and hope, and don't give up.
and maybe don't drink the water for a few days. We gotta get cleaned up.
Yes, and don't drink the water for a few days. Go to the river. The river is much better water.
Okay.
Do
Go
I need
ahead.
persuasion?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
9.
Okay. The speech is met with silence, uncertainty. There's a few faces in the back, as a slightly larger crowd kind of has come out to see. A few of them have angry faces. Most of them are just uncertain. They start to dissipate as you begin loading up the body of Mikhail into the cart. But yeah, you're just uncertain. You're unsure exactly how most people have taken it. There's quite a bit of fear still, and there's a little bit of anger, but mostly it's confusion, and they just don't know what to make of it at this point. But they don't seem overtly hostile. It's just more confusion, and so there's a few head shakes and a few nods. But yep. But yeah, you're certain that you've at least dissuaded any sort of initial hostility kind of thing. It's just more, yeah, they're just confused at this point. So.
Mm.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's right. This dice is going in the timeout corner.
Yeah, you guys have gotten actually really good rolls this
Rolled a
entire
good
time
one down
so far.
there, but at least
Yeah,
I got a
you
happy
did.
smile on the guy's face.
So yeah, what would you guys like to do with this
Let's go
fine piece of
dump it.
craftsmanship?
Let's go dump it in the back of our house.
I don't think we should just dump it,
No,
Grim.
to go talk to her to explain what happened and that his soul is safe.
Are you guys going to go together? Are you guys taking the statue with you? Or are you guys, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna go over here and grab this wagon, and we're gonna put it in there, and we'll roll it there.
I'm gonna pull the wagon to the location.
I'll probably sit in the back. Make sure it doesn't fall out or break or anything.
That sounds like a decent plan.
I should pull athletics check though, right? If I'm gonna be able to pull this thing.
Yep. You can go ahead. Actually, it's not. You guys basically, yeah. Their first roll was good enough to like. If you guys are careful enough and you're working together, it does take a little bit of time, but you guys do get it into the cart, no problem. And it's a lot better once you actually have a cart to be rolling this thing. Are you guys rolling in the middle of town? Are you taking some back streets? What are you doing with this thing as you're rolling it? Do you cover it? Do you flaunt it?
Probably cover it.
Yeah, Jax, do you have like a dress or something that you can throw over it?
I'm not putting my cloak over it because then my flames will be uncovered. But
you don't have an armor?
I don't think so. Let me look. Let me look. Hold on.
Also, don't forget our ropes.
Yeah, I have a blanket. I actually have a blanket in my inventory.
You do?
Yeah,
A
that
thick
would work.
quilted blanket made to keep you warm in cold winter.
I don't think I have anything.
Of course, we obtain our ropes again.
I do not have anything to cover it with, but I think regardless of whether we cover it or not, we shouldn't just walk down the middle of the road with it either. So,
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. So assuming a slightly less direct route, is there like, do you guys want to pick a route here? Where would you go? Yeah, I'll even do this.
Probably gonna have to go.
I know our house was
Over here.
Yeah.
So we can go outside of town.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of
Sounds
go
good.
around.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Take the long way.
If that's what you choose, then that's where you go. Just give me a second to mess with something here. So you pass along a less direct route, going to Elvira's, or the scribe's home. And there's, at one point, you kind of pass some children who are very curious. One of them asks you what you're doing, what's under the blankets. Are you really adventurers? Are very kind of following you along. Some other a mother eventually comes out and kind of grabs them. Yeah, you kind of pass a few people, but not nearly as many on the main thoroughfare. But yeah, eventually you will be able to get to Elvira's home.
Thank you for whoever moved me, by the way.
Oh,
So yeah, you guys get to the house, and what would you like to do?
definitely not dump him in the back. Shall not.
I guess we knock on the front door.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Knock, knock, knock.
Knock, knock, knocking on the scribe's door.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in.
Nice, nice. All right. It takes a little while, but then you hear kind of a rushing inside the house, and it finally opens up, and you see the lovely young woman staring at you, eyes wide, slightly disappointed that the person in front of them is not who they were hoping for. She's like, Mikhail, did you find him?
Yes, as it is, we have found him much sooner than expected. It was almost as if we were meant to find him by my patron. However, it is not quite in the state that we had hoped. Do apologize for your loss.
No. She kind of sinks to her knees at the door and she looks past you. I assume you have the cart there.
Yeah.
She sees it and then she kind of pushes past Lunaris and reaches the cart and sort of puts her hand out to grab the blanket, but then she recoils for a second and she looks at you, Grimbold. Is he?
He's a good decoration.
Are you saying that?
Oh, God, Grim.
I kind of come up behind her and I put my hand on her shoulder. Fear not, though. It is not a death that is normal. My
Reach over
patron,
and smack Grim over the head.
my patron and I have saved his soul. His soul is not lost to this cursed land, and I vow upon my oath and of Helm that we will break the curse on this land so that his soul may be free.
She just doesn't really seem to be like fully capturing what you're saying and can't help herself, and she finally tears the blanket off and she basically screams a silent scream as her hands come up and she just stares at the marble statue, and it takes her a few moments as tears sort of stream down her eyes before she calms down and she sees the photo or the picture that was in his hand, the sketch, and she puts her hand. She kind of recoils at the coldness of the marble, and she just says, I don't understand. I don't understand. What did you do? Why is he like this?"
To be frank, he must have been down there for some time. He was injured, and his mortal life was doomed to be an undead cadaver. So we saved him, his physical form as it is, until we can break this curse on the land and possibly, with the help of priests, may be able to bring him back to life.
Can't guarantee that we'll be able to bring him back, but we're going to try.
Is he? She kind of puts her hand. After a while, it's sort of like she puts her hand on his face, and the smile on his face kind of makes her less frightened. And she tries to look into his eyes, but sees nothing, and just says, "Is he still in there?"
Just his physical body.
His physical form has been preserved in this state, but his soul is with my patron, the Evening Glory, and she keeps him safe and warm until the day that we can reunite you two.
She sort of just stares at the statue's eyes, and the sort of slight smile on Mikhail's face.
He put his
For
faith
like,
in me and my patron.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. She finally just kind of sort of looks forlorn, kind of in shock, and eventually goes inside of her house and shuts the door.
Didn't take him inside. I guess are dumping him out back.
Yeah, there's some trees back there if you wanted to put them there.
Put him in the bush.
It's up to you what you want to do with them, but yeah, she seems to be unable to handle it right now, and you just hear sobbing from behind the door.
Do we have any idea where like his home would be?
Do you want to ask around, or?
I assumed that
they live
he was
together.
living with her. Yeah.
No.
Maybe not.
Oh.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. We need to find out where this guy.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted a different spot for it.
Yeah, Let's go ask the farrier.
Move my map and I grabbed
it. We're right here.
All right, maybe let's cover him back up first. Oh.
Yeah, we don't have to show him off anymore. We can just use his name.
Okay.
Lovely.
Okay. You guys gonna go to the farrier then?
Sure. Let's do it.
Do any of these houses appear to be boarded up?
Not immediately. No. Oops. Sorry, I just realized. Good. Oh, okay, good. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. There we go. Good enough. Yeah, so you hear the clanging of metal on metal as you recognize the door is actually wide open. There's kind of a heat coming from here that is different from a lot of the homes. Yeah, you can kind of hear somebody banging deeper within the house.
I knock and shout, "Hello, there. Good day to you."
The banging stops for a moment, and a man in about his 30s comes looking over the corner, and he sort of just grunts, lifts his head, and kind of motions you with his head to come on in.
Mm.
I'll show you what this guy looks like as well.
Assuming the three of us have the cart, so I'm just gonna keep the three of us together.
What can I do you for?
Good day there, Sir Farrier. A couple things, however. The scribe lady, Elvira, over there, do you know anything about her and possibly the man she was with, Mikhail?
Pretty lass like that, I understand. Had her fiance, Mikhail. What of it?
We were curious where Mikhail currently lives. We are investigating his disappearance.
I
Or
see.
Miss Elvira.
Why not ask the lass? He kind of, you notice that he's got a tong and then a hammer over a horseshoe, and he's kind of banging it into shape at the moment.
Okay. She's a bit distraught right at the moment. She could not provide us any further details. Except his last whereabouts.
Quite a shame. Mikhail, south of town. Somewhere. Let me think on it for a moment. He's kind of banging. Takes him several minutes to really think about it. Finally, shoves the horseshoe back into the flames. There's a, you notice he's kind of banging on an anvil or something on this desk kind of thing, and then, or sorry, right here, and then kind of going back and forth between this sort of area. There's a bunch of coal just piled up as well. Finally, he looks relatively happy with what he's got and puts it on the desk and is like, it'd be easier if I just take you. I don't know how to describe it. I'll figure it out.
I would appreciate that. Now, the second thing is a matter of business. It appears you are well with a hammer and these horseshoes. Would you happen to have a grinder, and have you ever worked on one of these before? And I kind of pull out the rusty looking sword. Is this within your skill set to repair?
He kind of takes it, recognizes what you're asking him, kind of hums and haws for a bit. I'm no smithy, but it's possible. I'd have to take a couple days with it.
Okay.
See what I can do. I promise nothing.
I understand. I'd be happy to pay you for your time. See if you can grind down, give it a shine and a sharpen. May not be your expertise, but I'd be happy to pay.
Yeah, we'll see. Leave it here. I'll take you to the hunter's home.
All right. I'll leave it here for you. And, my group is outside, traveling with me.
He'll come out, kind of look at the lot of you, and I see. Adventurers are you? Well, follow me. And he'll kind of he's very simple, curt. Clearly has a soul, but you're not sure if it's how should we say, happy soul. But yeah, basically, I'll just keep him here for now, and I'll show you basically. Where is this? Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna show us where his home is.
He'll kind of pick up the pace a little bit and kind of force you guys to, well, double time it with the cart. Essentially, he's.
I'm not too worried if the cart falls behind. It's not like we need looking under it or anything.
Yeah.
So, so basically, Let's see. Trying to remember. Basically, you're essentially going back the way you came at this point, and he'll kind of cut down this area here and go past the well once more. Actually, you could probably come this way now that I think about it. You'll come down this way, go over here, and then stop at this house here. This be it. I didn't know the man, but sorry he's missing. And he just kind of walks off. Doesn't even wait for your response.
Sure.
Come by in 2 days. I'll see about your sword.
Thank you. Unequip great sword.
3 of us finally make it over here with the cart.
All right. Well, I guess let's put him inside. Go find a nice chair for him to be comfy in. So he was a hunter?
Well,
Oh. Can either put him
are we
in
going
the
inside
chair
his
or
house?
the bed.
I guess we're going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And, like, I mean, oh,
Is
you're
Gr-
muted, Zell. Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, assuming you guys are going inside, yeah, you definitely notice that this is clearly the home of a hunter.
think we just
As
went.
you step inside, the first thing you notice is the impressive collection of trophies adorning the walls. The room is tidy, with everything in its place, and several weapon racks line the wall, holding an assortment of old, blunt swords. In the center of the room, a sunken hearth is cold, and a set of stairs leads up to a loft where the bed sits unslept, with a whip left atop of the bedding. That's it.
Okay.
Um,
Place him in a chair, I guess.
Anything in here that would be helpful for us? I mean,
yeah.
he doesn't need it.
As Grim pulled, was about to say, perception check for some treasure.
Let's see here. There are several like blunt swords that could be sharpened, and several bows. There's also a crossbow, a light crossbow on the table. So I would say a short sword, a long sword, some traps, 2 bows, and a light crossbow are the most immediately accessible things. There also looks like there is right here fresh fur that seems to be finished tanning at this point. A bunch of animal heads of different types, a couple of boars, a couple of wolves, and even a bear head on the wall. There's also a stag, quite impressive stag up next to the bed. So yeah, conceivably you could take what you wanted if you wanted.
Doesn't seem to be of anything of value.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem anything super useful, but
I'm gonna take this crossbow.
Fine.
Sounds good. Alrighty. Yeah, where are you putting this? Where are you putting the mans? He's kind of in a seated position.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking.
So
He might do well up against a chair, up against the wall, or
you can kind of think that he's like, you can imagine him like having sit up against a wall and like flat on the floor, essentially.
Yeah.
Is essentially the position he was. So yeah, you can put him essentially somewhere around here, or under the heads on the wall, that kind of thing.
The window that they can look and sit in here. And then there's windows there too.
Sounds good.
Doesn't really matter.
No. Yeah, wherever you guys decide to deposit him.
Put him at the foot of the bed. To carry him up into the bed. Look like manacles at the top of the bed.
Yeah, I guess so.
That'd be kinky.
I'm guessing before you turned him, or your patron turned him into this form, you explained everything to him, so we don't need to like leave a note for when we resolve the situation, or
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think that'll be fine. Assuming that he'll just like go back to normal. I mean, that's the best case scenario.
right.
Worst case scenario, his physical form is unrecoverable, but his soul is free.
Right.
All right. What would you guys like to do from here?
All right, everyone, we need to uncurse this land.
Yes, we really do. And we need to go clean out the water before we do anything else.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
the water.
that is the next thing that we shall do.
All right.
Should we head back to the well, or?
Yep, let's go head back to the well and clean our mess up.
I'm assuming that's the only entrance to the well. I mean, did it look like it was like a? You said there was a door down there.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll just assume you guys kind of go down to grab stuff and
There's
figure out
another
what's
well
there.
over there too. Just,
Yeah, so you do know that there's a few wells that you've spotted into town, but this one definitely needs to be basically the boiled soup of death needs to be scooped out and at least, if not purified, then allowed to not be touched for a while.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh.
So how would you go about doing that? Are you just doing it on your own? Filling your.
Maybe we can see if some people are interested in helping us, since it would implore them to have clean drinking water. So.
Sure. How do you go about recruiting your townsfolk here?
I think maybe back to the center of town where most people might be. What time of day is it right now?
It's probably like 2 or 3 in the afternoon by this time. It's taking quite a bit of time out of the day, but yeah, there's some folks that you could probably round up if you ask them and let them know what's going on.
All right, let's go on a wander, and maybe just like as we walk by people, see if we can get any volunteers, maybe some kids who might be interested in helping get some clean drinking water, because that would help them and their families.
With whatever time that we have, I also do want to prepare the purify food and drink spell. I can't remember if we need to do a rest for that or not.
Paladin spell. Let me see here.
I think it was just like 10 minutes per spell or something like that.
Let me see here.
I lost my little jacks somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're in the.
Might be under one of the black areas.
Oops.
I don't know where I went.
Are you able to see Jax's character, Zell? Is she
I'm
hiding
looking.
in the house? She's sleepwalking again.
Oh no!
Jack,
Oh no!
Jack's off by herself.
It's not even nap time.
She's Jackson off.
Oh, come on.
Lovely.
I had you in the house with us.
So
Where'd you
wrong.
go?
So wrong.
All right, let's podcast.
Did you? I'm not seeing her. She might have been deleted by accident or something.
Did you delete me?
Delete.
Wow. What the fuck?
Hmm.
Oh, what the fuck?
Change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest. I need a long rest soon anyway.
Or any of us.
That sounds like a plan.
I mean,
So
we
yeah,
can still scoop shit out. But
who wants to talk to the town folk to try and convince them to?
well, I
help
do
you out
have the
here?
highest persuasion, even though I wasn't very persuading. The big group there.
I think we can all, you know, kind of ask people to help. It's not like only one person needs to.
Sure. Sounds good.
So.
Oh, I found you. You're
You found
definitely
me?
hiding. Yeah,
Where
you're
was I?
hiding in the black over on the right there.
Oh, thank
I
you.
was just about to like delete you, or not delete you, recreate you.
I was gonna say like maybe if she left and come back, but I think it saves where you were, so I wouldn't have worked.
It's good. Okay, so let's do. I'll do this. The two highest people, if Kiani and, or well, whoever I guess, whoever's got the two highest persuasions, you guys can do it at advantage with the other two helping, essentially.
Okay.
So that means we
Persuasion.
get to roll twice, and the highest roll is what?
Grimbold and I both
go
have
with?
+5 persuasion.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah.
I have
Oh,
So,
-1 persuasion.
I've got
Huh?
+2. That's it.
Okay. So we'll let Jax and Grimbold kind of do their persuasion. Or sorry, be helping. Sorry, Jax will be helping Grimbold, and Kiani will help Lunaris. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
All right. Go ahead and give me your rolls.
22.
15?
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we were just doing advantage? You said it was the helping?
Yeah. So technically, yeah, it would just be Grimbold and Lunaris.
So Grim and
With-
Lunar are the
with
only ones who
with
need to actually
advantage.
roll. Yeah.
Okay, my advantage was much better at a 24.
Okay. Good.
I only rolled the one. Is there a point? Should I roll?
You can
second?
roll
No, you're
another one.
good. You're good if you don't
Well,
want to.
you
That's
got
fine.
over 20.
22. Yeah.
You both, yeah, you both kind of. So how? Go ahead and tell me how the average argument for these villagers sounds. What would you say to the passersby on the main streets?
People are turning into zombies because the drinking water is putrid and diseased, and we are cleaning it up and require some assistance. So anyone that doesn't mind getting dirty can help purify this town with us.
Okay. And Grimbold, what would you say?
If you don't want to get sick and die, you better help us out. Cleaning this well out.
Your own lives. This is your homes. We're talking
What's let's see. What's your intimidation check, Grimbold?
Oh my gosh. +3.
I'm going to say that instead of using,
Still a 20.
yeah, instead of using
16.
Oh, wait.
persuasion, we're going to say that you're probably more intimidating than not. It's kind of freaky to have this little halfling man basically say, you know, there's a plague in your town. If you don't help us, you're all screwed, kind of thing. And I'll actually even say, Kiani, go ahead and roll an intimidation as well for me.
intimidation.
Yeah.
Especially because we're together.
Should not be surprised. 21.
There we go.
Oh my god, you're freaking rolling psychotic. You've rolled so many 20s. It's amazing. Yeah, you don't even really have to say anything. The scowl that seems to naturally perpetuate your face just emphasizes the sheer horror that the water they've been drinking is contaminated. You kind of, the two of you happen to rally a few more eager beavers, I suppose. At the very least, here's basically what goes down. You freak out a bunch of women who then go and tell their husbands, get the fuck out there and get the shit fixed. And they basically, go buck right away. And Lunaris and Jax, you guys get a less enthusiastic crowd, but several who are like, oh, that's very serious, and just for self-preservation will kind of join you as well. So by the end of the day, you've probably rounded up about a dozen people who are willing to help, or are panicked and kind of doing their own thing. Do you guys tell them what was wrong with the well water? Are you just sort of saying it's polluted? What exactly are you guys kind of revealing to these, let's say, dozen people eventually?
Pretty sure when they're cleaning it out, they're going to notice the body parts, so might as well be truthful.
Okay. So what specifically do you say?
Say that we have discovered that the water system has been tainted, and that we need to clean it out before anyone can continue to drink it.
Okay.
There's
Do you
some
tell
kind
them?
of curse.
Do you tell them what it's been tainted with?
Zombies.
It's tainted with the agents of the undead.
Okay. That gets a little bit more of a reaction as well. People are understandably freaked the fuck out. And kind of marshal a few more neighbors at that point. They ask a bit more. There's a couple of guys in particular. There's a carpenter, probably in his 50s, who sort of asks a bit more probing questions like, do we know how people are affected, how many people are affected? Do we need to start busting doors down?
I mean,
kind
I
of
think you guys
tell that
would
there's
know
a
more
bit of-
than we would, considering there's houses that are closed and boarded and marked around here. We're not from here, so
Okay. There is one particular guy, in fact, you know who he is because you've met him before, Valentine, who starts to raise a bit more of a fuss, marshaling some of these people. He acts as if he knows what's going on, like he's basically a part of your group almost, or at least,
there's
maybe
always that
even,
one.
yeah. He basically starts saying, grabbing some of the men and ordering them to go and get some torches. We have to cleanse this infection from this land or from this town as fast as possible before any more people get sick. And he sounds like, go ahead and give me a perception check, all of you.
18.
12.
16.
Lunaris is not very perceptible today.
So Jackson Kiani in particular, you recognize that this guy sounds like he's intending to basically light any house that's boarded up on fire, is essentially what he's planning. He's kind of grabbed at least four other guys, some of them, actually all of them basically soulless, and they're kind of marching across town together, marking houses, and you can tell that they're grabbing their torch and putting
I'm
some.
gonna I'm going to go right up to him and stand in front of him and tell him he cannot do
that. He goes, "Oh, you really think so, do you?"
I do.
And
You're going to accidentally burn down this entire city. What are you, stupid?
You're going to kill innocent people.
Innocent people are going to die if we don't take care of this problem now.
What do you think we're trying to do here? And where were you the past few weeks that this has been an issue? We're handling it. Let us handle it. Stop this. You're going to end up burning the whole city down. This is not how you deal with this.
Get out of my way, woman. And he tries to push you.
I will literally light you on fire if you don't back the fuck up, sir.
That sounds like an intimidation roll.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation.
I will literally light you on fire.
Roll that. Make that roll.
Let's see it.
19, motherfucker.
He goes to push you and notices your flames just as you're talking and reels back in fear. Disgusting witch.
I am. So don't fuck with me and do not set these houses on fire. Back the fuck up.
It's not just him who like reels back, but the guys that were with him that were like, being rallied and totally ready to go, they really back off and are like have a genuine look of fear towards you. They sort of don't know exactly what to do. They're sort of just freaked out by you.
Don't fuck with me.
Valentine looks around with a scowl and then points his unlit torch at just in your direction as he backs off. He's like, "Mark me, witch. You stay away from me and our kind."
Mm.
And,
go ahead and point your torch at me. You think I'm scared of fire?
He's definitely cowed at this point, and then basically tosses the torch at your feet and kind of walks down the road. The other guys look like they're just standing around watching. They also just sort of decide to drop their torches because that's what he did.
Because they're soulless.
Exactly. Pretty much. They're just kind of following the leader kind of thing.
We'll take care of the houses. Y'all clean the water. Clean the junk out of the water.
Okay.
To the townsfolk and such.
Burnball puts his blades away.
Sounds good. Okay, yeah. So immediately, anyway, so it takes a couple of hours for you guys to really get a handle on the situation, to clean out the well water. How are you guys going to go about? Are you guys going to do like a systematic search to see which houses are boarded up, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to do a search through and just check which houses are boarded and maybe because they were marked, right? So like not just boarded, but boarded and marked, and then destroy of the contents inside.
Okay. Just give me 2 seconds here.
I'm pretty sure like we're probably coming up on the end of the session pretty soon, but I mean, I'd say the next plan for this would be to clean out those houses, and I'm also seeing 3 other wells on the map that we'll probably also need to investigate and clean.
Yeah, sounds good. So here's essentially how it'll go. It'll take you guys at least a couple of hours to clean out this well. If you guys want, you can investigate the other wells in town to see if those are infested or anything like that. Does that sound fair?
Yeah,
sure. Just
okay.
From what you can tell, there are no other zombies in the other wells, but you're pretty sure that the well water is all infected in all of the town at this point. At least it's not safe from what you can gather. At least all the wells on the south part of the town. I don't know if there's actually another well on the north. I don't think there is.
Should I boil all of the water?
um,
Yes. So I wonder if they're all interconnected. That we would go down there.
yeah,
And
there basically there are no other wells, I don't think, on the north side of town. So
just the 4 down here.
I think there's 4, yeah, on the south. So by the time you guys basically check these wells, you're fairly confident that they will at least need to be purified, whether over time for several weeks or if you have some kind of magic that can do that. You'll be able to do that within the next, say, 24 hours if that's
Yeah,
the spell you
I'd,
have.
Boil
I'd say
all of them.
I'd say boil them first, and then I can use my purify spell.
Yep,
Sure.
I can boil them.
Sounds good.
Because
Because it's
I'm sorry, I was just going to mention the spell only purifies water within a 5-foot radius sphere, so it takes quite a few spells.
yeah, that's fair. So you can probably do it over the course of a couple of days then.
Yeah.
Just doing it on each one. But yeah, boiling it will certainly help kind of expedite that as
Sure.
well. So you, by the time you guys have sort of gathered enough people, sort of scooping out the remains that are within that well in particular, and you've a couple of the guys seem like they're willing to go through the town and find out which ones are boarded up. At that point, what will happen is Kia Ani and Grimbold. One of the guys, the older gentleman who's in his 40s or 50s, probably his 50s, eventually comes up to you two. And yeah, he'll sort of pull you guys aside and he'll say, I can help you locate the rest of the boarded up houses.
Please show us.
He basically walks through the bulk of the town and sort of seems to have quite a system already. And go ahead and give me an insight check, both of you.
Insight.
17.
Okay.
Hey, finally. 1 plus 7 plus 1, 8.
All right. Kiani, you're just kind of like, nodding and recognizing, kind of keeping in your head where things are boarded up and everything like that. But Grimbold, you're recognizing that this guy knows exactly where everything is, and you kind of come to the conclusion that this might be the guy who's actually been boarding up the houses in the first place.
You seem to know where everything is. Are you the one that's been bordering everything up?
Yes, well, I suspected something was wrong. I don't drink from the well water, but I didn't know exactly how people were getting sick. I just knew which ones had been coming less through town and who had moved out by now, and so I just been keeping myself busy.
But you have to drink water, don't you?
I get it from the river. I go out and gather my supplies every day anyway for my own business as a carpenter.
Inner thoughts. It's really suspicious that he goes to the river to get all his water when he could just get it right from the well.
Do you say that?
No, just inner thought of
just curious.
Curious that he definitely has been drinking from the river instead of well water or water that's right. I mean, I get whatever his prerogative is, but just suspicious that he hasn't hasn't done anything with water at all. Just
Sure.
Wow, there's actually so many.
Oops. Yeah. So what you start to realize, he basically goes on like this long circuit, and it takes up to basically dusk. Um, Before like he's basically shown you where all the people he knew were either sick by yesterday, or yeah, he knew for a fact that there were zombies in there. He sort of checked on people. Um, what he doesn't really tell you how he's checked on people or why he knows they're all sick, but he seems to know exactly what he's doing, and he's the one who seems to have been boarding houses up.
Mm.
But yeah, you see at least several dozen houses, or at least a dozen houses. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Yeah, so almost 2 dozen houses he's boarded up in the last week and a half, since he realized that people were leaving or getting sick or missing.
Hmm.
Oh,
Could be 1 to 4 zombies in each of those houses. We could be dealing with at least 50 zombies here in this whole town.
Yeah, okay. Wonder if we fix the water or if we can cure the zombies.
Can I make like a religion or an arcana check to see if like you can cure zombieism?
Mm.
I mean, even in Glory didn't have
I
very
would
good hopes.
I would say it would be more like maybe a medicine check.
Okay. Boom. There's a 7+1. Good rolls.
You're pretty confident that there's no way to at least cure people who are already zombies. If there is anybody who is currently sick, there may be something to be done with them. You're not sure what,
Okay.
but
Well, that's
that's
probably why we petrified the one dude. It's worth saving. Yes.
So yeah.
Okie dokie. Helm demands purification through violence.
Okay. So yeah, the carpenter basically says, well, to Grimbold and to Kiani anyway, because that's basically who he seemed to be more comfortable talking to for some reason. He says, if you need any help breaking down some of these houses and such, I'm sure I don't mind helping to open them up. I won't be fighting anytime soon. But if you gather some of the men in town and tell them what's happening, that might be a good plan. I haven't seen the burgomaster of late. I know there's been trouble at the mansion that I've seen, but same thing with the church. So
at the mansion down on the south end of town.
Yeah, south. Yeah.
Okay. I've spoken with the church father, but we have not yet been to the mansion.
But perhaps on the morrow, that's something to be done. For yes, I thank you for I thank you for finding the cause of the sickness. I never thought that it would be the water, but.
And what is your name, good sir?
Good question. I just had it up and then I turned my page. Now I can't know. Elias Droworis. Wow, that's a word. Okay.
Yes.
Eliza Ilias Drazur Jerusalem. Wow, I'm just gonna.
Elliot.
It's literally an impossible
Where do you
name.
come up with these names?
These
It's
ones. This one was not me. This one was actually written as one of the things.
Okay.
So let me just go ahead and put it. I'm gonna put it in the town square here in 72 font, so everybody can try their hand
Oh, I'm not
at
even
what
gonna
this
try.
is. I'm even gonna show it to everybody else here.
Group. That sounds. That
I
was
don't even
cute.
know. I don't even know.
That was cute.
There we go.
Yeah,
This is this man's name. Elias.
Drazuwarshers. Drazuwarshers.
Worcestershire sauce. There you go.
Exactly.
Worcestershire sauce. For
yeah.
those who happen to watch this in the future, in the comments, go ahead and phonetically write out what you think this name is. Because I'm usually okay with names. I have no idea where to even start with that.
Hey,
So.
Drzwursh.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Z. Dr. Z. Woe Cersei.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Z. Dr. Z. Woe Cersei. There we go.
Bez Worcester.
Good call.
So.
That's hilarious.
That's what his name
Make
is.
sure you don't edit this part out, please.
I won't. Yeah. So, Drazor. Anyway, Elias. Elias.
Thank you.
It's funky. It's funky, and you know it. So
I just kind of call him E.
So for those who want to know where all the pink squares are, this is the current state of the village of Barovia.
Damn.
That is like half of the buildings. Almost.
All right. There we go.
Okie dokie. Well, I was expecting there to be more zombies in the other wells, but at least we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's like the water is definitely polluted, but it doesn't look like, the zombies are there.
Once we clear all of these out, then we can create a big old pyre outside town and burn them all.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it starts to get dark. The carpenter, suggests you hole up for the night. He's pretty confident in his skills that they'll remain locked behind the houses for the time being, at least for the morrow. But yeah, he sort of thanks you again and takes off for the night.
Well, if the people of this town don't know our names, they sure do now. We made quite a scene.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it was just everything from when we got to the well. It's like that is not the turn that I expected when I went to the well, but definitely
yeah, it's
uncovered.
I literally thought you guys would be like doing a lot more investigation, but you just, whether you meant to or not, you found exactly where the problem was. And I was like, I was going to give it to Grimbold mostly to kind of piece it together. But yeah, just a lucky guess, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I was thinking the mom maybe dropped the daughter down the well or something.
I was thinking the same. Like
went full the ring on.
That crazy.
Yeah,
Pull the ring on her.
But I'm pretty sure she probably knows more, but mentally, I don't know.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So, what are you guys gonna do for the rest of the night? Are you just gonna go back to the inn? Are you?
I think going back to the inn would be a wise choice.
Okay.
I guess just before we do, or y'all can go to the inn, I'm gonna take a visit to the Morning Lord Church.
I don't think you should go alone, so I will accompany you.
Okay.
All right.
I just
Love
wanted to
you,
go check in
Lunar.
with
I
him.
just don't think you should go alone, considering the state last time. So I'm just gonna go with you. I'm just gonna go with you, okay?
Okie dokie. I just wanted to fill the father in and see if he could lend his purifying light, if he hasn't.
Can I roll for perception when we get there?
Sure can.
Johnny, are we heading to the inn or are we heading to the church?
I guess y'all can all come with the church if you want. There's nothing that says you can't.
Well, I'll head to the church then.
Well,
Group effort.
suppose Kiani can probably come with too.
I'm probably gonna head to the local tavern and get my
Drink
energy
it up.
back from carrying all you guys. I will get a
Yeah,
replenish.
you did a lot of heavy lifting.
All right. In that case, I will start with Kinyani.
He's out there.
You walk in, and the tavern is quite full tonight. There, a lot of the people that sort of you've already talked to, whether directly or indirectly, are in here. Kind of like an unofficial town meeting to some degree. Some of the people are just chattering about the events that have been going on. Kinyani, as soon as you walk in, there becomes sort of a hush within the tavern. They're kind of all looking at you. You also happen to notice Valentine, who gets up and starts to move towards you. But just before he gets to you, he looks a little menacing. He sees that you're alone and everything like that. A young man, sort of disheveled, cuts him off and stares him down. He has a goblet of wine in his hand, and he goes, back off, Valentine. The man is smaller than this guy, but there is something of a noble bloodline behind him. And the sort of man sneers at him, looks at you, looks at this young blonde man, and he literally kind of just basically spits right on his foot, and he says, "You think you are the just because you are the burgomaster's son does not mean you can rule over us at all times. You want to play with the elf? Fine." And he basically walks off and goes back to his seat. And there's sorry. The young man comes around. He's quite decent looking fella, but looks very disheveled. Looks like he hasn't slept in some time. Raises a glass of wine and gestures to the corner over here. He's like, "Come, my strange friend, let me buy you a drink."
Yeah, so I'll definitely. I just realized I'm like, well, if I'm drinking ale and they're making it with the water source, then I shouldn't be drinking it. But I figured everything will be fine.
He motions over for Alenka to bring a pitcher of wine, and he says, "I've been hearing about your exploits in this town already. I'm sorry that I have not had the opportunity to meet you before. I admit that I have something of a need for your expertise myself."
Well, let's hear it.
"Please have some wine. This is much better than the water anyway." And he kind of downs it. You can tell he's pretty close to drunk, but he's holding his liquor quite well. And he's got a symbol of the Morning Lord on his chest, sort of like a medallion, essentially, that's like draped down over his neck. And he says, I am Ismark. They call me Ismark the Lesser, for I am the son of the burgomaster, Koryan. Koryan Indirovich is my father. Or I should say, was. My father was killed last night.
How was your father killed? What
Well,
happened?
the people around here might see an old man, just his heart giving out, but we have been waylaid for several days now by the demon Strahd and his monsters, the wolves and bats that he seems to control.
Bats, you say?
Yes, all manner of creatures, really. He is, in fact, the land. He sees and knows much. He kind of just has a look of disgust, but at the same time, he's actually, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Yep. All right, 12.
All right. Yeah, he doesn't give too much away, but he does look like he is extremely stressed, extremely tired, and also very worried. In fact, as soon as he says the word Strahd, he kind of looks over his shoulder and like feels very uncomfortable that he even said it out loud. But there's also very clearly a lot of anger in his voice. I'm sorry, my friend. Forgive me. What is your name? I apologize. I don't yet know much about you.
My name is Kiani, and I'm with a group of friends that I've met on this journey, and that we have found an awful curse or a awful spell that has been put on the water here in town, and we are trying to fix that. And I should be with my teammates, but I decided to pop in here to get a little bit of relaxation in before we before we continue with our quest of saving the town.
It sounds like you are precisely the men and women, I assume, that I need. My problem is not simply that my father has passed away, but he has passed away because Strahd wants something. He is seeking after my sister, Irina Koryana. I have her in the home as we speak. I come only because I do not know what to do from here, seeking you and your help.
You think he's trying to defile your sister?
Yes, something about her seems to. He is so obsessed as of late. he has been after her for weeks. I see him from time to time. She reports that he is outside the windows, calling her name, sometimes speaking a name that is not hers. And when my father confronted him, he began to attack several weeks ago. Something happened, I do not know what, but he left us alone for 3 or 4 days until the day before yesterday. And
before your father passed.
Yes, and then it seemed the strain, the stress, the lack of sleep finally got to my father the night before last night, and we have done what we can for him, but Irina refuses to leave town. I want her to get away from this place, get out from under the shadow of Strahd, but she refuses to leave our father unburied. The townspeople have abandoned us. They say we are cursed. they refuse. But Irina will not leave without burying our father in the church.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is that you can convince her to leave this place, that you will take her far away. I would do it myself, but with my father dead, I am the burgomaster now, and as you said, this town, it is under a great curse. I just cannot abandon them, even though they may have abandoned me.
One question for you.
Yes,
Is your
my
sister
friend.
is your sister a fighter?
She is feisty.
Good.
She may be willing to learn. We have played, soldier, I suppose you could say, since we were young, and our father has taught us what he can, but I couldn't say that she is truly trained in any way.
Because my teammates are very feisty themselves and could be very intimidating for your sister. So I asked.
I see. Well, I suspect that she will have less problem with your feisty friends than you will have with her sharp tongue and her wit at times. But no, I think
shark tongue is good to have,
Hmm.
especially with Jax.
I see. Yes, I'm sure my father would probably have disagreed with you, but nevertheless, I
Excuse me.
I,
I'm just kidding.
I cherish my sister, my young friend, or my elven friend, and I need her to be safe.
What I'll do for you is I will speak with my teammates and ask them what they think about this, and I will get back to you.
I thank you, my friend. You can come see us at any time on the morrow. We will prepare my father's body. We have a coffin already, but some final preparations. If you could come perhaps in the morning, in the early morning, convince Irina to come, and if you can help us bury my father, that would be of great benefit.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you again. Now, if you'll excuse me, there are many people here who would probably prefer me not to be. And I admit the wine is becoming a little much, so if you forgive me, have a good night, sir.
You have a good night.
And at that, Ismark will take off, and you see him kind of walking south of town. Would you like to do anything else in here? The room has kind of lifted as you guys were talking a little bit in terms of its conversation, but there's still quite a few people who are kind of eyeing you.
Yeah, I think I'll feel comfortable leaving, letting them letting the pressure off a little bit with me not being here. So I will take myself back and meet my teammates at the church.
Sounds like a plan. Okay. You guys are going north to the church, correct?
Yes.
All right. I need everybody to give me a perception check. I'm going to assume that Kiani is not here for this first portion.
Sounds good.
We'll say your conversation essentially took about 10 minutes-ish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something to that effect. 18, eh?
Eh? Yeah, I rolled it way back when I asked if we could. I've been patiently waiting.
My apologies.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
And Lunaris and Grimbold? Did you want to give me a perception check as well? If you're there. Yes, no, maybe so.
Are they here?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Do you want to give me a perception check?
23.
Ooh, okay. And I'm going to assume Lunar is just presently.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I
Missing?
don't know how long I've been muted for.
Oh.
I got a nat 20.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Beauty.
All of you notice one thing for sure. As you pass by Elvira, her house rather, you notice that the door is ajar, and there's no sound coming from that house.
I'm gonna go into her house and take a look.
Yeah, we should probably check on her.
Check on her. I
I
do
know.
agree.
Okay. It's quite dark. There are no candles lit or anything like that. Who has dark vision? Not
I
Grimbled,
do.
right?
Not
I do
Grimble. That's it.
Okay.
I do, and I
Uh,
can also light some fire so that everybody can see.
can have my
Alright.
torch out, I guess. Or...
I like how nobody can see me, but I made a hand motion like I was like, you know.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Nice. Yeah, so Jax, as you walk into the front door, your flames kind of light the way, giving everybody a clear view. And leaning against the wall, you see a very pale Elvira. Her eyes kind of forlorn and glassy.
We should not have left her alone.
What would you like to do?
Well, maybe we should check for a pulse,
Yes.
see if she's alive.
As you walk closer to her, you notice there's quite a bit of blood coming from her body. Takes you a few moments, but you recognize a very long knife wound going down straight through her arm. Do you somebody give me a medicine check, whoever wants to.
I will.
Okay.
$20.
Oh, Keanu's not there though.
Darn.
Sorry, you still have that 10-minute gap.
That's
Sorry,
right,
bro.
That's right.
I thought that was Grim at first. It said that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It is room.
It is me.
Oh, did you roll the 20?
It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me. I got a 6.
Yeah, so you see, basically, from what you can tell, this woman is dead. But you're just, the amount of blood, it just shocks you, and you're not,
Yeah.
you just don't know. Yeah.
I got a 19.
All right. You're actually pretty confident that she's still alive, but barely. She's currently
Heal her up.
dying.
Wait.
Lunar, help her.
I bring into action and I place my healing hand. Well, my healing hands is done. Lay on hands. I'm gonna lay my hands on
All right.
her arm and her face.
Okay, I got nothing to help.
She the energy that pours into you the energy that pours out of you clearly begins to close up the wound, and she sort of comes to, and she sees you, and she suddenly shoves you away, and she starts screaming, what are you doing? No, I must see him. I can't live without him. No. And she just becomes super distraught.
All right. I'm gonna do something that instead of persuading, I'm gonna do the intimidation thing. I'm saying, "You fool! Didn't you hear a thing I was saying earlier? if you die, your soul will be trapped here forever and you'll never see him. And do you want me to roll intimidation for that?
Yep, that sounds great. I'll even give you advantage on that. That was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hit her or anything. I just want to knock her in. Not a nat 20, but it was 20 after the +1.
Okay. She's basically like pounding on you at first, and she's flailing, and she goes to grab the knife that she had already dropped, and like she's basically ready to kind of slit the same exact way, but as you kind of yell at her, she just can't bring herself to do it and drops it, and crumples into just a ball of sorrow.
You
And
have to
she
survive for him to see him again. If you die now, you'll never see him.
But I can't do it. I can't live without him. This place, he was the only good thing in this place. We were going to go away. We were going to travel west. We heard it's protected, and we were going to get married. Neither of us have family anymore. I can't do this. Please, just end the suffering. Just take me like you took him. It's glory, right? The evening glory, you said? Please, just make me as him. Let us be together. She can do that, right?
Would you guys like me to do this?
Do what?
Do what?
Sorry.
Would you like me to put her as her misery?
No! Oh my god.
way?
Sean!
Grimbald!
Grimbold! Jesus!
Wow. Call me out.
Grimbold! What's wrong with you?
She wants to die.
I guess I'll respond to her saying we had only done that to preserve that which was decaying. You are in perfect health. And I pray to Glory and
Sure.
see if this is an option or if she's only got like a one soul capsule kind of thing. Do I pray with my religion?
Yeah, I mean, you can. What would you say? Like, she doesn't seem to be appearing like she did before.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But go ahead and give me a religion check.
Sure. I guess more or less, I pray that that this lady is in such pain that she cannot bear to live without this man, and I fear that she will take her own life. Yeah.
Okay. What did you roll?
15.
Unlike the last time, you don't have her appear or anything like that, but you get less of the words and more of the sense that if it's really what she wants, then the evening glory will answer that plea and that prayer.
Okay.
It's more of like a sense than an actual audible.
Well, I'll ask her then. Do you truly feel that you are unable to help this town that is in need of any light that it can receive and help the other people around you? Or do you feel that you cannot bear another second?
You cannot stop me. If it is not with her, and if I'm not with him, then I will not be.
Despite all of my warnings that your soul will be trapped forever?
She kind of like bows her head and just cries and all she can basically say is, I just need to be with him. Please do this.
Since it is of your will, then I will do what I can to reunite you spiritually with Mikhail. I'll place my hand in hers and hold it up to her heart, similar to the way Mikhail did, and try and channel my energy.
As you kind of hold her hand like that, are you guys, Grimbold and Jax, are you guys doing anything? Are you saying anything?
Just standing there, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jax is like holding Grimbald back and like, go over there.
I'm just trying not to smack him across the head again.
I imagine she's also sitting on the ground up against the wall.
Pretty much, yeah. I guess it depends on, for the most part, yeah, pretty much. Very similar in terms of his.
Okay. She'll go good right next to him then.
Okay. And she'll, as you kind of hold her, you can tell her breathing is a little heavy, and she finally like opens her eyes, and you see fear in her eyes, and she just simply asks, "Will it hurt?"
More than you slicing up your wrist just now did.
Damn.
It will not hurt a bit. Mikhail was happy to know that he could be with you and that he would not turn into an undead. We'll place you right next to him.
She takes a deep breath, and it takes a little longer to get going. In fact, you're kind of sitting there, and you're like waiting for like the better part of a minute as she slowly starts to calm down. And just when you think that nothing's going to happen, you don't feel the same presence like you do before, or anything like that. But suddenly you notice that it's a little different this time. It's not like one area that spreads out. You see just the color, which had kind of returned after you healed her, slowly drain from her. And it almost looks like it's being done from the inside out. And she suddenly opens her eyes, and it looks like she sees Mikhail, from what you can tell, because her eyes light up and look past you. And she has just a big smile on her face, and she goes to say something, but suddenly this from within, like the marbling seems to take over her, and she becomes a statue.
We don't have to drag her statue to be with the other statue, do we?
Not drag her anywhere. We can leave her here.
We'll do it tomorrow. Their spirits are together. That's what matters.
Okay.
You couldn't just let me finish her off.
No.
Not even a little.
Smacks Grim over the head again. What is wrong with you?
Let's get out of here.
Yes, I'm glad that we happened upon the situation. This is a much better outcome.
Kiani, as you are kind of walking up the town, you can kind of hear voices, particularly Jax screaming, or at least, chastising Grimbold from within Elvira's home.
You will leave for now. Kiani probably came up on us at that time.
And yeah. Do you go inside, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go inside and see the stone.
Yeah.
Another stone.
You see another person that has been made into marble without really any context.
And how does that make you feel?
It's also kind of sitting in a pool of blood too, so.
Yeah, it makes me confused of why is everybody turning into stone.
Oh, that's just the alternative to their Still being trapped. Anyway, it's because of me. I'm saving them. Totally
Yeah.
saving them.
Like, I guess it's because like I don't know that, right? So like just
Yeah.
kind of that
Mhm.
explanation of like telling me, oh, okay, now I understand. That's why
Mhm.
We are
they're
preserving
trapped.
their bodies so that they can be together in the future. I don't know how many more times I can do that, but these two people are special because we need to savor the love. Onward to the church.
To the church.
I
Sounds
want
good.
hot dogs.
And then this will probably have to be my last interaction. I'll have to go
I was
swim.
gonna say we gotta wrap it up really
Yeah.
quickly here. So
That's fine. Yeah, so you guys get to the church, and where before it was lit with many candles and everything like that, it is conspicuously empty of any light. And everybody just give me one more perception check, please.
Okinsy Dolkinsy. I rolled a whole ass 6. Let's go.
I'm with you on that.
16.
15.
Okay.
Well, I could probably set-
From within the church, Kinyani and Lunaris, you hear something muffled, and the sound of it is that of a strangled cry, and you barely make out what the words are saying. You think what is being said is, "Father, please, I'm starving." And that's where we'll end for today.
All right.
Beautiful.
Huzzah!
I was gonna say, Jackson, since we rolled so low, we could be like arguing this whole entire time as
Pretty
normal.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable, yeah. They barely even heard it themselves, but
Grim's over
yeah.
here. Why didn't you let me finish her? And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you want to do that?
She wanted to go. Like, just let's do it.
She's an innocent girl. She was distraught that her freaking fiance basically died. You don't just let people kill themselves.
It wasn't killing themselves. I was gonna do it myself.
Oh my god, it's the same thing, Grim. What the hell?
And we'll pick it up next time with Curse of Strahd, The Beckoning. Thanks for playing, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Yes, Watka. I missed you too.